Alright guys, it is May 11th, 2015. I've started gathering more parts. As you can see, I've got a lot to go through this time. We've all seen, for those who have seen part 25, that was a long awaited part to the entire build. The next part won't be for a while, so part 26 is probably going to be 3 to 6 months out maybe, depending on how much quicker I finish getting all the parts together. So we'll start over here. So this is just an assortment of silicone hose. This is really thick wall stuff. It's a lot more thicker than your standard silicone hose. This is for like all your vacuum, so it won't what is the term they use? It won't collapse under vacuum, high vacuum. I've got silicone reducers from 3" to 2.5 for the intercooler, because the intercooler has 3" inlet and outlet. I'm using 2.5" pipe, so I've got 45 2.5" pipe that I needed for the, in addition to the kit, the large universal kit I got. Got 2 of these Vibrant straight flow resonators. I'm thinking about getting a third just in case I need to tone the exhaust down just a little bit more. And then I have a DC Sport 4" tip, 3" inlet muffler, universal. So the whole exhaust is going to be 30" all the way from the turbo down to all the way back, except for the exception of the transition from 4" outlet to the 3". I've got a universal 3" inlet and outlet cat. I'm probably, when I go race down the track, I'm going to use a straight pipe. So that everything's going to be V-band, so including all the exhaust pipe, all the resonators, and certain sections will be V-clamps, so I can take them out, put new stuff in if I need to. So we got fuel pump strainer, pickup strainers. I've got 2 FP or FB 290 liter per hour pumps. So these are small guys. Doing this one-handed. So they have been tested, so they're known to work. So these will flow, both these together will flow just about 530 liters per hour. If I remember my calculation right. No, I'm sorry, 500. See, 200 and 200 is 4. 90 and 90 is 180. So 580 liters per hour total fuel, which is a little bit more than what I need, but it'll do the trick. And then I'm going to try this full-blown dual fuel tank pump hanger. Though I know there's some people out there questioning whether if this is sealed or not. It looks like it is, but to me it kind of seems like for a street-driven car that has to pass emissions that it's not quite sealed enough. So I may have to find a way, or might be able to get away with just putting it in as a, excuse me. So it comes with clamps, some hose, in-tank fuel hose, submersible hose is what it's really called, so it doesn't get eaten alive outside in. And then they have the option to choose factory lines, or you can choose 6" inlet and outlet, or 8" outlet, 6" return. So I got the 8" feed and then the 6" return, because I figured if I run the 8" lines, it will be a lot better flow and lot less flow restriction and loss. And then I don't think I've ever shown this on video to anyone, but there have been some pictures I have posted. This is the custom fuel rail I had made. Alright, had a technical difficulty with my camera, so let's get back to this. Left off with this fuel rail. This is a custom one-piece design. One off, one of a kind. I can get more of these, but for one, it's a really hefty price and nobody's really going to go for it. So it's an exact, or very, very close to the original fuel rail if I set this one here. So as you can see, it's really close. I did a lot of measurements and put a lot of time and effort into a CAD file for this. So it's a 1/2 inch NPT or pipe thread on each side, so you can adapt it to AN or whatever you need to. It's a good sized bore for fuel. So there's that. That's going to get anodized. I still need to do that. I have a fuel pressure gauge for the see if my camera will focus here. For the fuel regulator. If you guys are wondering where I'm getting most of my sensors from, I'm getting them from Standard Motor Products. I'll show you the numbers. So here's a NOx sensor for the 420A, and that's the part number from Standard. So if you're looking for NOx sensor or whatnot, if you put in for Mitsubishi, it actually comes up as a different NOx sensor than that one, so you have to be careful. So you really have to put in a Dodge Neon. So here's a coolant temp sensor for the computer. There is two different ones. One's for the computer and one's for the gauge on your instrument cluster. This one's for the computer. So this one has a part number of TX81. And then this one came from Intermotor. This one's for the thermo or your temperature gauge on your instrument cluster. This one is part number, if I don't drop it, TS198. And then for your IAT, or intake air temperature, IAT for short, this one is AX40. Then map sensor. If you look it up as Eagle or Mitsubishi, it gives you the 4G63 map sensor. So the one you're looking for from Standard is AS41. These are all Standard's part catalog numbers. So these are, Standard is a copyright, if I remember. So oil pressure light switch. If you look for it as an oil pressure sender, it actually gives you a GM number, a GM part. This one, you're actually looking for a PS287. That one. So that's all of those. I have a couple more sensors I need to get, but that's pretty much it. Break-in additive for the camshaft, which I'm going to add that to the break-in oil to help it. Assorted fittings, I've got 6AN here. I believe this is 6AN. Yep, 6AN tube for 37 degree flare. I have these crimp style ones, or basically your compression, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. 45 degree brass fittings for the oil. Pressure switch spot. Line adapters from your 6AN. There's two different ones. There's metric, and then I have these ones which are your O-ring, which are pretty much standard. 6AN union adapters, 8AN union adapters, 1/2 inch NPT to 8AN line adapter, and then 1/8 inch pipe plugs, because of the intercooler pipes I have that have bungs already welded into them. I need to block some of those off. I have an oil catch can, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use this. It's Mitsumoto's baffled. system. I'm thinking about using it, but I'm thinking about trading it up for a Moroso breather catch can type, because I want to eliminate PCV, but I have to deal with emissions, so I'll see about that. Power steering belt. This is a Kevlar. So this is a Gates Kevlar power steering belt. If you're wondering that number, it's basically a Gates number, and then you add RB at the end for race belt. So 353 is 35 and 3/10 of an inch. The last three numbers, numerical numbers, not the letters, is the length. So this one's your alternator and power steering. So 50.7 inches. So you have your 507, so it's 50 inches and 7/10 of an inch. So 50.7. So this one's just basically the same. It's Kevlar belt, really, as you can see. And then I have one that's longer. I substituted a couple things, so as you can see, so K0505. So this basically tells me it's just 5 rib, and then 51 inches and 6/10 of an inch, whereas this one's 5 rib, 50.7 inches in circumference. It's 50. So 51.6 is actually the total length of the belt in circumference. So that's how you can tell for belts. That pretty much sums everything up here. So we're getting really close. I have actual shafts on order that'll hold 750 horsepower or more. And just gotta wait. Their build times take a while, so these are made to order, which means you order them and then they have to assemble them, make them physically. They're not stocked. They're not on the shelf already, so those I'll see in about 6 weeks. Theoretically, I don't know, maybe sooner. And then I'm hopefully wish to have this all done by August, so for a KBPI show. So we're about $3,000 out from being complete. So, alright guys, that does it for this time.